What is up, everyone? Time for another video of the BMW, and this time, since the last video that I made was a full in-depth review of the bike, and if you haven't checked the review out, by the way, you can check it out over here. I'll put a link on the upper right corner. Since I did a review now of the bike, I thought I'd make like a do a video where I go through the things that I love and the things that I hate about the bike. So starting with number one, what I hate about the bike is the heat the bike generates. And by that I mean especially the frame. The frame gets super hot when you're just cruising around the city. It gets so hot that it pretty much starts to burn your legs, because I'm not wearing jeans, even though you should always wear like proper motorcycle gear, but still, like I only wear jeans when I'm just cruising in the city. And if it's a, let's say, a warmer day out, you can pretty much start burning your legs on the frame, because the frame gets so damn hot. So that's one of the biggest things that I hate about the bike. And then coming up first on what I love about the bike, I have to say the engine. I really like this engine, the inline 4, and the sound that it makes. Okay, I had a bit of a moment because the quick shifter didn't because I got a little bit of traction control and I tried to shift to second gear and it just kind of dysfunctioned. So yeah, the engine on the bike, I absolutely love it. The inline 4, it's got a lot of power, a lot of torque, 200 horsepower, 113 newton meters of torque, and I just love the sound of it, man, because it's a high revving engine, so it sounds pretty much like a 600cc bike. So yeah, I mean, the red line is at like 14,500, so the red line is pretty high for a liter bike, and the sound is just absolutely great on this bike, especially with the SeeMeRiding exhaust. And then coming up next on my hate list, I gotta say about the vibrations. So this generates quite a lot of vibrations through the handlebars and also through the foot pegs on certain revs, and it's not that bad, but it gets just a little bit annoying at some point when you're like on these revs. You get quite a lot of, like on just over 3,000 revs, you get quite a lot of vibrations to the foot pegs. And I mean, it's something that, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but still, like, especially when you're driving on the highway, you do get a lot of vibrations on the whole bike. So pretty much when you're doing like motorway speeds, you can't pretty much see anything on the mirror because it's so shaky, so it looks like it's out of focus. But then again, a lot of bikes has this issue, the vibrations. I mean, there's nothing they can pretty much do about it, but still, like, I mean, it's a small thing, but still, it's a bit of annoying at some point. Then the second thing that I love about this bike is the looks of it. I mean, I just freaking love the look of this bike. And talking about the looks, this bike attracts a lot of attention, not just by the sound, but I mean by the looks. I mean, pretty much every time when I ride in the city and I park the bike like somewhere in the city somewhere, usually every time someone then comes up and, you know, says like, wow, that's a cool bike or something like that, it draws a lot of attention. But of course I understand it because it has its own unique look, especially the headlights, since it has that alien look, which I talked about it on the review, and it just drags a lot of attention. I mean, when I was in Finland with the bike didn't really attract that much attention. I mean, probably I have to say, there was probably never a time in Finland where someone came and complimented the bike, like saying, oh, that's a cool bike or something like that. I mean, it's so strange. And immediately when I got to Spain, everyone started to compliment the bike, like, wow, that's a cool bike, and started asking questions and everything like that. I mean, I mean, I have to say, it is a head turner, the bike. It does, because it looks so different to everything else. So that's why, and you don't see these bikes that often on the road. So that's probably one of the main reasons why it attracts a lot of attention. And then the next thing that I love about it is the quick shifter, because this has the up and down quick shifter, which means that you can change gear up or down or, without using the clutch. And it's super easy like this. I'm on downshift now. Just like that. It's super easy. I just need to basically downshift on the gear lever. It's super simple and it's just a nice feature to have. This is the good thing about having a motorcycle. I can just pass all of this traffic and then just basically find my way through the middle if this Citroen or Opel gives me a little bit of space. But this is just great. Yeah, you cannot do this in Finland, but this is allowed in Spain, so this is super cool because you can just go through the middle of the traffic, something that I'm not used to. Now I'm gonna get a little bit of acceleration, or this damn Fiesta came in my way. Just leave it on first gear and listen to the sound. Don't have that much grip on the rear tires. It's like a traction control coming on. Listen to the sound. So I just simply love, of course, again there comes the sound, but the quick shifter. So the quick shifter is super simple. I can show you the downshift part right now. Look, I'm not even using the clutch. And then the upshift, it's super easy and simple. It's just a great feature. I mean, I would never want a bike again that doesn't have a quick shifter. I mean, I don't mind shifting down myself because that's not something just really cool. I mean, I can do that if I want, but it's so cool to just upshift and downshift without using clutch or anything. And then coming up, one thing that I hate about the bike also, the stock windshield, which I have, it's pretty low. I mean, it's like, it's not very high, so it's not very high, the windshield, so you get a really much headwind on motorway speeds like this. I mean, I'm doing 120 right now, and I can feel a lot of headwind. Of course, you can buy an aftermarket windshield, or you can actually buy directly from BMW a higher windshield, but I wish it was a little bit higher, but then that's again, you can buy aftermarket, so it doesn't really matter that much, but still. And then, what else do I love about the bike? I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, the electronics are really good, but I don't really want to go into that anymore, that much anymore, because I did it pretty much on the review. The crackles and puffs, by the way, check this out. That is so cool. Every time I lift off and every time I do a downshift, it makes a every time I lift off and downshift, it makes a pop and crackle. It's really, really cool. Let me just show you here. Actually, we'll get a small tunnel over here. Damn, you ain't got no lights on. I nearly... Let's do some little bit of tunnel action. So, first gear. I'm trying to think about any more things that I hate about the bike. I mean, there's not really anything that I can think of anymore, because I just simply love the bike. I mean, I'm trying to think about, you know, a lot of these flaws, but even though most of them that I said, except the fact that the frame gets super hot, that's a really big minus. But everything else, I mean, they're just such small, just such small things that they don't really that much matter even. So I just have to say that this bike is just absolutely incredible in every aspect. I mean, considering that it's got this much performance and it's basically made to the track, it's such a good road bike. This is a pure track bike basically, but still it's a perfect road bike because it had everything a road bike should have. And I'm not really sure, because I want to really test out this bike's competitors like the Yamaha R1 and Ducati Panigales and Aprilias, and I want to test those out and to see the main differences on road, because I just have never felt or driven a motorcycle that's this comfortable on the road. I mean, it's it's just incredible. It's really soft, the suspension, because this has the semi-active suspension, so you can set it up to be soft or hard if you want. And it's just pure awesomeness. It's just near perfection. I mean, I have to say, I just simply love it. I mean, like, it's easily the best bike I've ever ridden. I keep saying that and just complimenting the bike, but I just can't stop it because this is the best bike, I have to say, in my opinion. So it is what it is.
Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Subscribe to the channel and also subscribe to my second channel. I now have a vlog channel, so go and subscribe to that also. I'll put a link over here also, and I'll see you in the next one.